Resilient Solutions, Episode 6, 10 Steps to Overcoming the Fear of Failure, Part 1. Did you know that being afraid is normal, but staying afraid will ruin your life? Hello, my name is John Thurman, and welcome to Resilient Solutions, where I help you become more resilient in your personal life, your relationships, your business endeavors, and your faith. And as I mentioned in my last podcast, you and I are standing on the doorsteps of some tremendous opportunities, be it in your personal life, relationships, businesses, or whatever. But one of the key things that will hold you and I back is the fear of failure. And in part 1 today, we'll talk about some of the characteristics of fear of failure, and I'll begin to give you some tools you can use to overcome it. And I'm excited because today you and I are going to begin a journey of overcoming the fear of failure. I'm so glad you joined me. Why don't we jump right in? Hey, great to have you on board today and welcome. Today I'm going to discuss a topic that very few people want to talk about, and yet it's one of the most limiting factors in our lives, whether we're in relationships or with ourselves or with others or in our business endeavors, and that's the fear of failure. Let me ask you a quick question. How do you handle the fear of failure? Do you cower or conquer? Well, the only way you can ever overcome the fear of failure is to face it and lean into it. As a matter of fact, one of the most important things that you can do to strengthen your resilience is to come to terms with the things that you fear, to lean into it, to call it what it is, and to take active, kinetic measures to overcome it. I don't know about you, but man, I hate to fail. And life is filled with failure. And it's not so much the failure that gets you, it's the fear of the failure or the embarrassment of failure. And think about the last time you did a face plant. What type of feelings does that bring up? Well, I know in my own life, shame, disappointment, dismay, anger, anguish, self-loathing, frustration, confusion, and those are a few things that I do whenever I have a sense of failure. Staring down the fear of failure can really be a tough thing. I did some research a few years ago for my book, The No Fear Entrepreneur, and really saw the power of dealing with the fear of failure. You know, what we've learned is that there are at least 7 indicators that the fear of failure could be holding you back. Here they are. Number 1, the fear of failing will slow you down when it comes to pursuing your dreams. Number 2, failing has a friend called shame that always seems to show up when you experience failure. You ever experienced that? Shame just pops out and calls yourself loser, stupid, things like that. Number 3, failing causes you to feel distressed about what others think about you. Number 4, failing may cause you to question how smart and capable you are. Number 5, failing can certainly arrest your creativity. I know as an author sometimes I have to deal with the imposter syndrome. This is just real stuff you have to deal with. Number 6, you have physical issues at the last minute, such as a headache, GI issues, or other physical symptoms that sabotage you. That's one of those little subtle ways that the body rats you out when you're facing the fear of failure. And then number 7, and this is one that I struggle with over the years, you might tend to be a procrastinator, which truthfully is a closet perfectionist. Well, do you feel busted, encouraged, or enlightened? I hope you feel encouraged. Bob Goff is a man that I love to listen to. He's a successful businessman, a strong believer, and really involved in bringing a lot of change in the world. And here's what he says about failure. Failure is just a part of the process, and it's not just okay. It's better than okay. God doesn't want failure to shut you down. God didn't make it a 3 strikes and you're out sort of thing. It's more about how God helps us dust ourselves off so we can swing for the fences again, and all of this without keeping a meticulous record of our screw-ups. That's from Bob Goff's book, Love Does, Discovering a Secretly Incredible Life in an Ordinary World. Great truth for us today. Okay, John, I completely acknowledge that I struggle with the fear of failure. Well, I'm glad you do, because when you embrace that, you can begin to make changes. Are you ready to go into the 10 steps to overcome the fear of failure? Now, I will introduce them in this segment, and then next week's podcast, we'll go a little bit deeper. That okay with you? Great. Let's begin. Well, one of the first things you want to do is you learn to embrace the fear of failure, is to embrace your humanity by recognizing and accepting your emotions. The simple truth is some days are diamonds, some days are dust. Some days are great and some days are bust. But just accept the fact that you're human and we have these ebbs and flows of emotions. By the way, here's a little tip. Your emotions are triggered by your thought processes. And your thought processes are triggered by a trigger. But we'll go into that some other time. Number 2, please don't take it or make it personal. It's so important that we see failure and success for what they are. They are moments in time. They are seasons. And so don't take it or make it personal. Celebrate the victories and overcome the defeats. Number 3, don't be too concerned about what other people think because they really don't care. That's a heart crusher, isn't it? You think all these people are really caring, concerned, and some of them are, like your mother and your dad, and maybe family members and your kids and your spouse. But the truth is, most people could really care less. So don't be too concerned about what other people think. It's a waste of time because honestly, they don't care. Number 4, and this is a big one. I need to maintain an internal focus of control. Our reactions to stress, adversity, tough times, change, and other adverse events really depends on how we view things. It depends on how we're using our internal resources. So let me ask you a quick question. When trouble comes, do you react or respond? Number 5. Now, while you and I don't have any control over external factors, or at least most of the time we don't, we still are able to learn to control our internal response to that. You and I are responsible to whatever life throws at us. And I hope rather than being defeated and becoming a victim, you'll engage and become an overcomer. Number 6, boy, this is the truth. Stay flexible. If you refuse to be flexible, oh my gosh, you're going to break. I did a wedding one time and the groom was a really sharp Air Force enlisted guy. And I told him, don't lock your knees or you'll faint. Well, guess what happens? About 15 minutes in this ceremony, he locked his knees. Bam. Dropped like a rock. Lesson there, stay flexible. Number 6, this is so important. Maintain a support system. And there are basically 4 levels or types of support. The first is emotional support. That's that friend, colleague, family member, coworker that's got your back. They've got your 6. They provide empathy, love, and trust. The second type of support is instrumental support. And that's support that's service-oriented, is tangible, you can touch it. It's hands-on type of support, instrumental support. Next is informational support. And this can be from your own reading, from advice, from listening to podcasts like you're listening to mine, suggestions, information, coaching, training, counseling, a whole host of type of support. And then finally, there's appraisal support. And that's useful for self-evaluation. I like this whole idea of an after-action report. It's simple and to the point, and that is, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And what can I do better? And number 8, one of the key ways you overcome the fear of failure is to laugh deep and often. You see, humor, laughter, and joy have a powerful impact on our health and well-being. Humor and laughter provides prodigious drug-free energy boosts. It alleviates stress and tension, boosts our creativity, and just helps us get a different perspective. So you know what? It's okay to laugh at your own failures and faceplants because you'll learn from it. Number 9, and this is really important, and that is that you are learning to demonstrate self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is a person's belief in their ability to succeed in whatever they do because there's more in you than you know. Dr. Carolyn Weck's book, Mindsets, really talks about this. There are 2 types of people. There's one person who has a closed mindset that says, this is it. I've got all I'm going to get. I'm kind of doomed to do what I do. The open mindset says, this is not it. I have the capacity to change. I have resources available to me. And so a person who demonstrates self-efficacy believes that they've got what they need to do what they need to do to get ahead. And if they don't have it, they have resources and people they can talk to, and these people can come alongside of them and help them. And finally, number 10. And to me, as a person of faith, this is the cornerstone. And that is that you are learning to develop your spiritual muscles. You're developing your resilience by developing the depth of your spirituality, and you're letting your faith grow. Hey, thanks for being with me today. And remember, next week, we'll get a little bit deeper into the weeds of actually how to use these 10 principles to help you face your fear of failure. My name's John Thurman, and you're listening to my shortcast, Resilient Solutions, where we help you become more resilient in your personal life, your relationships, your business endeavors, and your faith. You can check me out at johnthurman.info or johnthurman.net. Take care, God bless, and oh, by the way, you might want to sign up for my newsletter, and there are 2 quick ways to do that. First of all, if you're married and want some ways to improve your marriage, text the word 21 ways to 33777. Another way you can sign up for my newsletter is to sign up for a free 13-minute video called Brain Tricks. And once again, all you need to do to get that free 13-minute video, Brain Tricks, is to type the word Brain Tricks to 33777. Take care, have a great day, and remember, this is the day the Lord has made, and I will make a choice to rejoice and be glad in it. See you next time.